Thank you. I recognize Representative Kim.
Sure. Mr. Porimorak, I want to revisit the question that I posed earlier about Chinese investments in loans creating political dependency and unsustainable debt exposure in the Balkans. Has Washington made it very clear to Belgrade that future U.S. security assistance depends on Serbia avoiding deeper military cooperation with China, especially after acquiring Chinese missile systems and drones?
Serbia having military relations with Communist China is a red line, but I'm far more optimistic than my colleagues about the possibilities of finding a grand bargain. The president has done it during his first term between Serbia and Kosovo, and it was moving forward, but he didn't get another term. And who would have thought that Armenia and Azerbaijan would come to a peace agreement? Who would have thought that the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda would come to a peace agreement? Who would have thought that there would be a peace opportunity in Gaza? And we look at what's happening right now between Russia and Ukraine, real prospects for peace. So I think with American leadership, especially because of the nature of President Trump being able to promote the American interest in a commercial fashion, that he can use that kind of leadership again with respect to pulling in Serbia. I am far more optimistic about that. The Serbian leaders, both in Belgrade and Banja Luka, have openly asked for President Trump to do so. What does Russia have to offer Serbia? They have no money. All they have is death and destruction. What does China have to offer Serbia other than debt traps and bad loans? So I think it is an incredible opportunity now. But the problem is we don't have any, we have no ambassadors in the region because they are blocked from going over there. We have a political ambassador in neighboring Croatia who's been there maybe 2 or 3 months and is already pushing forward big deals on the energy side, promoting gas pipeline extension in Bosnia-Herzegovina of all places. It is time that the Senate move forward with the president's candidates for ambassadors, because those ambassadors know how to do commercial diplomacy. The ones we have there don't. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Primorak, I'm going to continue on the questioning with you regarding the EU membership and anti-corruption issues. Are any of the Western Balkan countries meeting the EU rule of law and anti-corruption standards? Like, would EU membership for these states meaningfully strengthen the regional stability, or would greater participation undermine the democratic institutions of the EU?
The EU, like the United States, has spent massive amounts of anti-corruption programs. We've also had it in Ukraine, and they simply do not function. If you do not resolve the fundamental problems in these states, with Bosnia-Herzegovina, it's not a state. In Serbia, it's floating in between the East and the West. There was no leadership in the last administration. Hopefully we'll get it. We will get it, actually, from this administration. Unless you resolve these fundamental structural problems within these countries, you can spend as much money as you want, as we have, and you will get zero results.
Thank you. Mr. Kofi, I want to talk to you about organized crime. It is rampant across the Western Balkans because it turns the region into a major cocaine gateway, weapons supermarket, and money laundering hub. Local mafia are increasingly intertwined with political elites and undermining the rule of law and state institutions. So how is corruption enabling transnational criminal organizations to expand in the Western Balkans? And what are the main illicit activities that you can cite that these criminal groups conduct? And how do they threaten security in Europe and the United States?
Well, the corruption in the region is the ocean through which the organized criminal organizations can swim. It enables this sort of behavior. And the European, I think probably the greatest tools we have to help these countries in the Western Balkans reform is by enticing them towards EU and NATO membership. before they can get in, they have to reform. If they don't reform, they don't get in. The European Commission just released its annual enlargement report where it highlighted in chapter and verse many of the problems the countries in the Western Balkans face. So they know what the problem is. It's up to them, their leaders, to find the political will to make these changes. But the organized the crime syndicates make it difficult for them to do so. And that creates the instability in the Balkans, which, as I pointed out earlier, can impact the stability of the rest of Europe if we're not careful. So it's definitely something that we should keep a close eye on.
Thank you. I yield.